Okay, so the January 6th committee has held a new meeting right before the midterm elections, just a few weeks out, 3 weeks or so. And looks like they got some more juicy stuff to go over. I don't know why, like, they're just releasing some of this footage now. Maybe they're trying to just keep public interest in it going, right? They gotta save some juicy bits for the later bits, but they got some good stuff here, and they end up coming to some conclusions, and they might even be subpoenaing Trump. And I mean, they did vote to subpoena Trump, and Trump and his followers have a history of ignoring subpoenas, right? Because what are they gonna do? Make you come into court and testify? Well, that could be the case. Yeah, Trump has been able to evade the law for long enough, and it seems like the law is finally catching up to him, right? With all these lawsuits, and now the big lawsuit, the big trouble he's in, the January 6th hearing, which, there's no mistake that he did instigate things, that he totally just wanted to overturn the results of the free and fair election that he lost. So it will be so entertaining if they drag him into court and force him to actually answer questions under oath. Oh my gosh, that would be so good, because Trump does not do well under pressure, right? Yeah, he does not do well with hostile interviews even. Yeah, even what was it? What was when he was supposed to have his second debate with Biden? Instead, he just he didn't really want to, because the first debate went so poorly. So he just did an interview with an MSNBC, or was it some reporter who was just asking them the questions that he was supposed to be asked, and he was like, "Oh, this totally biased, fake news media reporter." Yeah. It was a hostile interview. Where really, yeah, it's just a normal interview. And the interview he walked out of right before he lost the election, he's like, "No, come on, that's no way to talk to people. You don't talk to the president that way. Come on." Where it's he complained that "Oh, Biden is getting such easy questions, that you're asking me all these hard questions." Well, you are the president right now, and things aren't going really well for you. Things you're kind of fucking a lot of things up, and so yeah, we're gonna ask you some tough questions. But yeah, he did one recent interview with Sean Hannity where he had to defend himself against all the document scandal allegations, and even then he did not do well. Even when it's a softball interview, he still fucks up. So if they do manage to make Trump testify, that would be so good. I would love to see it. Yeah, that would be ideal. So let's see what happened in this hearing.
Over the course of these hearings, evidence has proven that there was a multi-part plan led by former President Donald Trump to overturn the 2020 election.
Yes, it was not just a spontaneous outburst of anger and frustration at the system for failing Trump. No, there was a plan. There's a man, there's a plan, and the man is Trump. And he wanted to overturn the election. He was looking for all sorts of ways. He was exploring all avenues that he could to overturn the election, whereas, we all know there is no way, unless you're literally going to declare martial law, which he actually considered. It was actually Mike Lindell himself of MyPillow, who suggested that, who was seen walking into the White House to do a little coke session with Trump, right? Yeah. The period in between the election and the inauguration of Biden, that's such a weird time where it's we didn't know, like, oh, is Trump actually going to leave office, or is he gonna, like, try to do something? And yeah, he did try to do something. I mean, we all knew, like, the day after the election, he was gonna try to, like, invalidate the results of the election one way or another, but, like, January 6th was, like, totally, like, an event that's unheard of. Like, it is sort of on par with 9/11 in that respect, where it's like an unprecedented attack, where it's like nothing like this has ever happened in history, in American history at least, and in world history. It's unique. Of course, 9/11 was worse, but yeah, I mean, at least in terms of the death toll and total destruction caused, but like January 6th was like an attack, like more like on the very foundations of like our democratic institutions.
Vast weight of evidence presented so far has shown us the central cause of January 6th was one man.
Oh,
Donald
right.
Trump,
Of course.
and many others followed.
Yeah. Oh, Steve Bannon. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he was exploring all avenues of possible solutions. Apparently, there was a story. There's so many stories about Trump. Who knows, like, if they're real, like how many of them are real or just made up to get news headlines, because they do. But someone claimed that Trump planned to just not leave the White House. I'm just not gonna leave. What are they gonna do? Make me leave? Come on. Well, apparently, that is what they're gonna do. They're gonna make you leave. As in, they're going to drag you out. What, did you think that your Secret Service agents that were loyal to you would, like, protect you from, like, the other Secret Service, the rest of the Secret Service? Oh my gosh, imagine if the Secret Service had, like, a civil war. If they were, like, just pro-Trump and pro-government factions of the Secret Service. Yeah. Secret Service, also had a bad day in this hearing, and we'll see why. Because, yeah, it seems like there were at least some Secret Service agents that were serving Trump. And that's why Mike Pence was afraid of the Secret Service, because he wasn't sure, like, are these guys on Trump's side or are they on my side? Trump was exploring all possible avenues for, like, overturning the election, and, like, he decided to scapegoat Mike Pence, right? He was like, oh, Mike Pence can do it for me. Where, of course, he couldn't. His role was mostly ceremonial. Oh, and we see with the Electoral Count Act was recently passed, which, like, really, like, solidified, like, the role that the vice president plays in the electoral counting process, right? So that's a lot harder to like, invalidate the results of an election, because, like, Mike Pence didn't have the balls to do it, but, like, what if someone did, right? What if someone actually tried to do it? Because Mike Pence was not a true believer, right? Mike Pence was one of the adults in the room that had to explain to Trump, sir, we cannot actually do that. That is actually outside of the scope of possibilities. That's actually, like, we will get in real trouble if we try to do that. So, yeah, a lot of people, yeah, Trump, again, is like an entitled narcissist guy who thinks, like, oh, people will do things for me, and when he tries to push people too far to do things for him, they push back and, like, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm literally gonna go to prison if you make me do that. And then he gets upset at them because he thinks everyone owes him something. Anyway, let's see what Steve Bannon has to say about all this.
Also, if Trump is losing by 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it's going to be
October 31st, right before the election.
No, because he's going to sit right there and say they stole.
Agreed.
I'm directing the Attorney General to shut down all ballot places in all 50 states. It's going to be no. He's not going out either. Trump, if Biden is winning, Trump is going to do some crazy shit.
He's gonna do some crazy shit, alright. Yeah. I bet he would have done that if he if he had the power to, if he actually was able to
Attorney General,
direct the Attorney General to shut down all ballot counting places
shut down all ballot places in all 50 states.
in all states.
He's not going out.
Yeah, literally just declaring martial law and sending in, like, doing what exactly? Sending in, like, federal, like, military troops to all ballot counting places to, like, what? To do what exactly? To rig the vote for you? Yeah, that's fucked. And, this goes back to, like, how far can you push people to do things for you? Because one trait of a good leader is you should never give an order that will not be followed, right? You gotta give people reasonable orders, because if you don't, then their trust in you will be eroded, and once they disobey one order, then it opens the door to disobeying less serious orders in the future. So, like, imagine if the military was instructed to seal the election, to fix all the ballot counting places for Donald Trump. And imagine a lot of military officers and just like infantrymen, petty officers would not be pleased with that. They would be like, what? We are here to protect and defend the Constitution, not Donald Trump. And it's like, of course, Trump and the Republicans were saying, like, oh, we're the ones who are protecting the Constitution, we're the ones who are defending democracy because the election was stolen from us, but, you know, you're gonna have to have something to back that up, right? You can't just say the election was stolen and expect everyone to believe you. Like trying to get individual election results overturned in courts, and of course the courts rejected all evidence of tampering. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. We should get through this.
Trump, if Biden's winning, Trump is going to do.
Oh, he's gonna do some crazy shit. I don't know what, but something crazy.
Only weeks left in office, President Trump
Ooh.
rushed to complete his unfinished business.
Oh yeah, it reminds me of my time in high school and college, just rushing to complete things before the deadline. Hey, Trump is relatable in that sense, at least. He really, he really is a procrastinator, just like all of us, right? What did he do as president exactly? He just sat on his couch in the White House, just like watching Fox News and live tweeting what he was watching on Fox News, right? Yeah. And it's like, oh, I actually have a job to do as president. Whoops.
Key example is this. President Trump issued an order for large-scale U.S. troop withdrawals.
Oh, yeah.
Disregarded concerns about the consequences for fragile governments on the front lines of the fight against ISIS and Al-Qaeda terrorists.
Yeah, and Afghanistan,
Knowing
too.
he was leaving office, he acted immediately.
Withdraw all U.S. military forces from the Federal Republic of Somalia and Afghanistan. Oh, he was going to withdraw from Afghanistan. What? Oh, wow.
Signed this order on November 11th, which would have required the immediate withdrawal
November
of troops
11th.
from Somalia and Afghanistan, all to be complete before the Biden inauguration
What?
on January 20th.
Why would he do that? That doesn't even make sense. He was going to withdraw from Afghanistan. We all know how that turned out. But like Somalia too? Honestly, what are American troops doing in Somalia? But that's another story. Why would he do this on November 11th, and why wasn't it enacted? Of course, we know why it wasn't enacted, because it was a fucking dumb idea. And the adults in the room, just like always, have had to explain to him, like, sir, you can't actually do that. The consequences of doing this would be catastrophic, so we can't do this. Like, they had to explain to him so many other things. It seems like the reason he was doing this was to destabilize things, right? To like he knew by this point, like maybe he knew that that like Biden was going to be inaugurated. There was no way around it, and that like they were just gonna fuck everything up for the incoming administration. We knew that they were not cooperating with the transition team, right? We're not handing over documents. Well, now we know why, because he was taking the documents with him. So now, yeah, now we know that, of course, Trump is not above that. Now, yeah, and we all know, like, how the withdrawal from Afghanistan went. Imagine a similar thing would happen, well, not on the same scale, of course, but in Somalia. Honestly, yeah, I'm not sure what America is doing in Somalia, so we'll get to that later. Yeah, so maybe he knew that, like, all the chaos of the Afghanistan withdrawal that we saw that was pinned on Biden and his administration would be pinned on him, right? So maybe he thought, like, oh, it's better to leave the Afghanistan withdrawal to the Biden administration, so they'll take all the blame for it, where it's like, it's gonna be a shit show no matter who does it, right? Like, Trump was making plans, making deals with the Taliban. It's the art of the deal, about releasing Taliban prisoners or whatnot. But yeah, he knew it would be a shit show. Honestly, the scary thing, because like this is November 11th, this was pretty early on, so this was still like when he was not certain that he was going to leave, right? Maybe he wasn't certain at this point, who knows, but like, because he was still trying all sorts of things, right, to stay in office. The scary thing is, like, what if he was going to use these federal troops to steal the election for like some kind of internal civil war, right? That would be the real scary thing. Like, I imagine the troops that are deployed would be more loyal. I mean, who knows? Who knows what he was thinking? Maybe this was just a dumb idea, but yeah.
All to be complete before the Biden inauguration on January 20th.
Or
was no longer a rally, that this was going to move to something else if he physically walked to the Capitol. I don't know if you want to use the word coup, whatever.
You know, he wanted to.
We all knew that this would move from a normal, democratic, public event into something else.
They're breaking windows and going in, obviously ransacking our offices and all the rest of that.
Yep.
That's nothing. The concern we have about personal harm, personal safety, is it just transcends everything. But the fact is, on any given day, they're breaking the law in many different ways. And quite frankly, much of it at the instigation of the President of the United States.
of course, not a surprise.
You have the place evacuated, cleaned out.
I don't want to speak for the leadership that's going to be responsible.
This is the Democrats, yeah, trying to get the situation under control.
I am offering
Who knows
this
what the
resolution
Republicans were doing?
that the committee direct the chairman to issue a subpoena for relevant documents and testimony under oath from Donald John Trump
Donald
in
Trump.
connection with the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol.
The clerk will
that's it.
report the vote.
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, there are 9 ayes and 0 noes.
0 no's, unanimous.
Resolution is agreed to.
Yep, so big news. Yeah, the committee subpoenaed Trump for documents and personal testimony. So Nancy Pelosi, why is she the pride of Maryland? And wait, is she even from Maryland? I guess so. It's all about.
They have dissuaded him from coming to Capitol Hill. They told him they don't have
Dissuaded him.
resources to protect him here. So at the moment, he is not coming, but that could change.
Oh, he comes, I'm gonna punch him out. This is
Oh,
my
no,
moment.
I would pay to see
I've
that.
been waiting for this. trespassing on the Capitol grounds.
I'm gonna punch him out.
Punch him out, and I'm gonna go to jail, and I'm gonna be happy.
Ooh, Dark Pelosi. Dark Pelosi's coming out. She's saying, I'm gonna sucker punch Trump. If that motherfucker comes into my house, into my literally my House of Representatives, I'm gonna kick him out. That's cool.
To protect him here. So at the moment, he is not
Oh
coming.
yeah, the Secret Service. The Secret Service persuaded him to not come, as in, yeah, there are different accounts of how this actually went down. One guy, there was the testimony that said Trump was literally driven away against his will, trying to like reach the steering wheel and trying to choke out the driver with his, but he couldn't because of his small ass hands. That's kind of funny to think of, but yeah, seems like kind of like outlandish, but like honestly, seems like nothing is out of the question here. I mean, nobody knows what Trump actually gets up to when nobody's watching, right? You know he gets up to some weird shit, right? And yeah, it seems like he's just this giant baby that like has to constantly be taken care of by like all the adults around him, like the actual adults have to fight back against him and all like the other man children he surrounds himself with. So yeah, seems like, yeah, he just never learns.
Oh, he comes, I'm gonna punch him out. This is my
Wow,
moment.
I would pay to see
I've
that.
been waiting for this.
Waiting for this.
Trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm gonna punch him out, and I'm gonna go to jail, and I'm gonna be happy.
Oh, she's saying, I'm gonna go to jail. Yeah, I'm gonna go to jail for punching the president, but I'm gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be worth it. Yeah, that'd be so cool. So sick. Yeah, Pelosi has balls, Trump is a traitor and has no balls. No balls. Where's the other? It's all the same thing. Yeah, gonna punch him out. Yeah. Honestly, who would win, Nancy Pelosi or Donald Trump? Because I don't know if Trump can actually take a hit, you know? Trump is kind of a big guy. He's like was he 6'1" or 6'2"? And he's a big guy, but like, you know, he's a pampered little bitch baby, right? Yeah, he probably has never taken a hit in his life. Not a real hit, anyway. So yeah, even a hit from like this 80-year-old woman might be enough to like cause some real damage, right? Ooh, what if Pelosi does the chin? Oh, the chin strike that you know, snaps your head around real fast and knocks you out. Did a one punch knockout on Trump, or like just hit him in his head. That would be sick. Ooh, that would be legendary, literally. So, Pelosi basically says, let's pretend this was the White House or the Pentagon or a building you give a shit about. Yeah, let's pretend.
For so-and-so, we need them there now, whoever you got.
You also have troops, this is Steny Hoyer, troops.
Okay, so we have a little
Fort
bit of time
McNair,
to make that decision.
Andrews Air Force Base,
All right,
other military bases.
thank you.
We
Thanks
need
for
active duty national
They're saying send in everyone you can.
And you have the place evacuated, cleaned out.
And this guy's just like, hey, this is not my job. I'm not. I didn't sign up for this, man. They're on the ground.
Pretend for a moment it was the Pentagon, or the White House, or some other entity that was under siege.
Or some other entity.
You can logistically get people there as you make the plan.
We just were waiting for so-and-so, we need them
Yeah,
there
she's
now,
basically
whoever
saying
you
like,
got.
imagine this was like an actual important place, because this is important.
And let me say, you can logistically get people there as you make the plan.
Yeah, it's like, that makes sense, because like, you gotta get people there as early as you can, and you can sort of improvise as you go, or like come up with a plan as you're sending people, right? Yeah, I mean, I mean, this should be obvious to like any military officers, but oh, yeah. Again, we'll see where that goes. It'll be very entertaining to see Trump actually testify if that ever happens, and I hope it does. Nancy Pelosi, why is she the pride of Maryland? And wait, is she even from Maryland? I guess so. It's all about.
They have dissuaded him from coming to Capitol Hill. They told him they don't have the
Dissuaded him.
resources to protect him here. So at the moment, he is not coming, but that could change.
Oh, he comes, I'm gonna punch him out. This is my
wow,
moment.
I would pay to see
I've
that.
been waiting for this. He's trespassing on the Capitol grounds.
I'm gonna punch him out.
Punch him out, and I'm gonna go to jail, and I'm gonna be happy.
Ooh, Dark Pelosi. Dark Pelosi's coming out. She's saying, I'm gonna sucker punch Trump. If that motherfucker comes into my house, into my literally my House of Representatives, I'm gonna kick him out. That's cool.
To protect him here. So at the moment, he is not coming.
Oh yeah, the Secret Service. The Secret Service persuaded him to not come, as in, yeah, there are different accounts of how this actually went down. One guy, there was the testimony that said Trump was literally driven away against his will, trying to like reach the steering wheel and trying to choke out the driver with but he couldn't because of his small ass hands. That's kind of funny to think of, but yeah, it seems like kind of like outlandish, but like honestly, seems like nothing is out of the question here. I mean, nobody knows what Trump actually gets up to when nobody's watching, right? You know he gets up to some weird shit, right? And yeah, it seems like he's just this giant baby that like has to constantly be taken care of by like all the adults around him, like the actual adults have to fight back against him and all like the other men and children he surrounds himself with. So yeah, seems like yeah, he just never learns.
Oh, he comes, I'm gonna punch him out. This is my moment.
I would pay to see
I've
that.
been waiting for this.
Waiting for this.
Trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm gonna punch him out, and I'm gonna go to jail, and I'm gonna be happy.
Oh, she's saying I'm gonna go to jail. Yeah, I'm gonna go to jail for punching the president, but I'm gonna be yeah, it's gonna be worth it. Yeah, that'd be so cool, so sick. Yeah, Pelosi has balls. Trump is a traitor and has no balls. No balls. Where's the other? It's all the same thing. Yeah, gonna punch him out. Yeah. Honestly, who would win, Nancy Pelosi or Donald Trump? Because I don't know if Trump can actually take a hit, you know? Trump is kind of a big guy. He's like 6'1" or 6'2"? And he's a big guy, but like, you know, he's a pampered little bitch baby, right? Yeah, he probably has never taken a hit in his life. Not a real hit, anyway. So yeah, even a hit from like this 80-year-old woman might be enough to like cause some real damage, right? Ooh, what if Pelosi does the chin strike that you know, snaps your head around real fast and knocks you out. Did a one punch knockout on Trump, or like just hit him in his head. That would be sick. Ooh, that would be legendary, literally. So, Pelosi basically says, let's pretend this was the White House or the Pentagon or a building you give a shit about. Yeah, let's pretend.
For so-and-so, we need them there now, whoever you got.
You also have troops, this is Steny Hoyer, troops.
Okay, so we have a little
Fort
bit of time
McNair,
to make that decision.
Andrews Air Force Base,
All right,
other military bases.
thank you.
We
Thanks
need
for
Oh.
that.
active duty,
They're saying
national
send in everyone you can.
Can you have the place evacuated and pulled, cleaned out?
And this guy's just like, hey, this is not my job. I'm not. I didn't sign up for this, man. They're on the ground.
Pretend for a moment it was the Pentagon, or the White House, or some other entity that was under siege.
Or some other entity.
You can logistically get people there as you make the plan.
We just were waiting for so-and-so. We need.
Yeah, she's basically saying, like, imagine this was like an actual important place, because this is important.
And let me say, you can logistically get people there as you make the plan.
Yeah, it's like, that makes sense, because, like, you gotta get people there as early as you can, and you can sort of improvise as you go, or, like, come up with a plan as you're sending people, right? Yeah, I mean, this should be obvious to, like, any military officers, but, you know, just imagine this was a scenario where you would actually be inclined to do your job, and do your job right here, same way you would if you actually cared. That's funny. What did she say? Yeah, I think this guy is just saying, like, hey, this is not my job. I don't know how soon we can get it cleared out. Yeah, they'll get there when they get there, okay? Yes, quit nagging them. Quit asking for stuff. Anyway, I'm getting tired. Oh, but what's this? We have heard of McCarthy for the last year. Jim Jordan and Stefanik blame Pelosi for the riot or lack of security when her life was threatened. This clearly shows she was one of the few people who stepped up when the president stepped aside. And the rioting happening.
Hi, Governor. This is Nancy. Governor, I don't know if you have been approached about the Virginia National Guard. Mr. Hoyer was speaking to Governor Hogan. But I still think you probably need the okay of the federal government in order to come into another jurisdiction.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, that was the big deal, because, like, the National Guard needed the approval of the president to come in, right? But, like, Trump wouldn't do shit, so eventually they got permission from Mike Pence, the vice president, because apparently, yeah, the vice president does have that power, apparently. Like, yeah, you've never been in this situation where, like, the president has gone AWOL, right, and just won't do his job, won't, like, deploy troops to, like, quell an insurrection, right? Yeah, who knows what he was saying. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, anyway, yeah, this proves that,
Oh my gosh. They said somebody was shot. It's just horrendous, and all
horrendous.
The instigation of the President of the United States. Okay, thank you, Governor. I appreciate what you're doing, and if you don't mind, I'd like to stay in touch. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Virginia Guard has been called in.
Yeah, and I'm just talking to Governor Northam, and what he said is they sent 200 state police and a unit of the National Guard. They're breaking windows and going in.
So they can send state police. Yeah, who knows what the rules are.
The rest of that. That's nothing.
National Guard is statewide.
Personal
safety.
Personal safety is it just transcends everything. But the fact is, on any given day, they're breaking the law in many different ways. And quite frankly, much of it at the instigation of the President of the United States. And now, if he could at least somebody.
Yeah, why don't you get the president to tell them to leave the Capitol, Mr. Attorney General, in your law enforcement responsibility? A public statement, they should all leave.
Oh yeah, so Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi doing the job that Trump should have been doing all along. And yeah, Nancy Pelosi was prepared to defend the Capitol personally herself, as in she would have decked Trump in the face if he actually came into her house. She is second in line to the presidency, and he is out of office and under endless investigations. So Pelosi failed in her responsibilities as commander-in-chief. Yeah, why didn't crazy Nancy Pelosi call out the troops before January 6th, which I strongly recommended that she do? It was her responsibility, but she didn't like the look. Crazy Nancy failed the American people. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's Nancy that's the crazy one, because, I don't know, she's a Democrat, whatever. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, wait, did Trump recommend calling the troops out? Yeah, was it her responsibility? She's the Speaker of the House. He's the president. If anything, it will be the executive branch that calls, like, the troops. Yeah. Again, yeah. We see. Strongly recommended. Yeah. Because it was Pelosi's job. Yeah, so Pelosi's saying she'll punch Trump is the drug I didn't know I needed. Huh. Trump's defense secretary, Chris Miller, denied her request 14 times when Pelosi asked the National Guard to defend the Capitol. Mike Flynn's brother, Charles, delayed the National Guard for 3 hours. Why? Trump wanted the Capitol to fall. He wanted America defenseless. He wanted blood. Yeah, so seems like, yeah. Yeah, it was weird how the National Guard was so late for the party. They were hours late. They should have been there so much sooner, but no. Honestly, I hope these people are being investigated for their role in this insurrection, right? Because, like, why else would they not want to send an end in the National Guard? It's like, oh, they didn't think the situation was serious enough? Or what? Yeah. Don't get it. That video is gut-wrenching, but it's also really highlighting Pelosi's leadership. Yeah, they must have been a real tough situation here. Steve Scalise, who stood shoulder to shoulder with Kevin McCarthy and Stefanik, while shamelessly accusing Pelosi of being complicit in the attack on the U.S. Capitol. That's her saving his ass. Yeah, this dude's just standing around, just like in his American flag mask, just like looking around, like, am I supposed to be here? Can I help? Can I help with something? But no. Yeah, well, these guys are all on a call, talking about getting the National Guard to actually defend their job, defend their government and do their jobs. Anyway, I think that's enough for tonight. Yeah, it's getting late. I want to play a little video games. So, thanks for watching and see you later. Bye.